Welcome to the Open Doors podcast. For this episode, we were joined by Greta Bilanzola. Greta is a senior project officer at Eurochambers, the association representing the voice of the European business community here in Brussels. Eurochambers runs a number of very interesting projects, one of which is the EU's Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program, an initiative that Greta manages. Now, most of you have probably heard of the Erasmus exchange program, and some of us were lucky enough to experience it firsthand and probably still hold onto some fond memories. But how does Erasmus work for entrepreneurs? And how do you even become an entrepreneur? And what kind of skills do entrepreneurs need in today's pretty complex world? Sit back and enjoy this episode with Greta and Ima, full of inspiring stories about entrepreneurship, learning, and connecting across borders.
Hello, Greta. Welcome to the Open Doors podcast. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you so much. A pleasure for me.
You work for Eurochambers. I read on your website that you guys are the eyes, ears and voice of the business community in the EU. Would you like to tell me a little bit more about the organisation and your role in the organisation?
Well, as you said, Eurochambers is the association of the European Chambers of Commerce and Industry in Europe and beyond, and is in charge of managing the support office of the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program on behalf of the European Commission, which I've been coordinating since the end of 2021. And basically, I'm a senior project officer at Eurochambers, and I'm working more specifically in entrepreneurial competencies development and in the skills priority.
Okay, so you're definitely the kind of person they would want running the program. Is it just you running the program? Does the Commission put the entire thing in your hands?
Yeah, it's a super hard work, but also super exciting. Basically, we are a small team and our office supports a network of more than 135 local contact points implementing the program.
Okay.
And we provide guidelines, training, networking activities. We also assist the general public and interested entrepreneurs via a help desk. We promote the program at European level and ensure the quality of matches meet the requirement of the program, for example.
Okay, that's so interesting. Well, would you like to tell us all, for those who don't know anything about Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs, what exactly is the scheme?
So the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program is an European funded initiative that offers newly established or aspiring entrepreneurs, or someone that has less than 3 years of entrepreneurial experience, or someone that just want to set up their business, the chance to collaborate with an experienced entrepreneur abroad from 1 to 6 months. The goal basically is to gain insights into general company management, improve business plans and models, explore similar businesses, and receive advice and support during the early stages of their business journey. There are also numerous benefits for the host entrepreneurs too. They can expand their business globally, they can gain knowledge about foreign markets, enhance business operation with fresh ideas, and develop international connections such as new providers, clients, co-venturing activities. And it works. It really works. Since the program's launch in 2009, there have been over 12,000 business exchanges, and impressively, 97% of participants state that their exchange was successful. 95% of new entrepreneurs report that the program contributed to their ambition to start their own business, and 83% of host entrepreneurs are willing to host again in the future.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, the program is available in all EU member states and beyond, so there are also other further participating countries. And I think it's a super flexible program because there's no age limit. So the word young is not only for young in age, but it's young in years of experience in entrepreneurship. So there's no age limit and there's no application deadline. So everyone can really apply all the time. And it covers various sectors. So it's not sector-based.
Okay, so entrepreneurship can be whatever you want it to be. I think I heard a story of a friend of mine. She was a young Irish student, and she really liked photography. And a colleague recommended her Erasmus for young entrepreneurs. She ended up, I think, doing a 6-month exchange with a photography business in Germany, and has now been set up and living there for the last 3 years. And I always think that's incredible, because when you think of entrepreneurship, maybe some people have the idea that, like, okay, this means like really intense business, but entrepreneurship can be whatever you want it to be, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then can be every type of activities. So really, and we also see that a lot of innovation is created when different sectors matches. So I've also heard stories of companies that were coming from super different sectors, matching, and then having super good new products, for example.
Okay, so it's not that the young entrepreneur needs to have the exact same skill set as the mentor, right? As long as
they found a basis for cooperation.
Okay. Is it the responsibility of the young entrepreneur to find a mentorship? Is it, because I can imagine that might be a little bit overwhelming if they have no experience of finding partners or knowing who the best match for them is. Is there any kind of resources they can use? I imagine that they're not just shooting out emails into the wild. There must be some kind of system of people who are willing to be mentors, right?
Sure, yeah. Basically, when we call it new entrepreneurs. So when a person that is less with 3 years of experience or aspiring entrepreneur applies into the program by filling in an application form and by providing the CV and the business plan. And this is a very important step, because then they have to choose an intermediate organization, so a local contact point that I've just mentioned before, that will support them for the entire business. And this applies as well for the host, so for the experienced entrepreneurs, so a business owner or someone that also owns an SME with more than 3 years of experience. They also have their local contact points behind. So when they apply, they only have to upload the CV, so not a business plan, but they will choose again an intermediate organization. And then both entities will have access to a full database of people that applied or people that already participated in the beginning. Because another thing is that new entrepreneurs can apply only once and participate only once in the program, but host entrepreneurs can host multiple times.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah,
exactly. So they have the local contact points that support them. They have the vast world of internet, and then they have this European platform with all the contacts where you can filter per country, per sector. What are you interested for?
Okay, so would it be the intermediary contact point who would match these people up then? Or do the mentors have some say in who decides to?
Yes, well, usually the intermediate organization oversee the full application moment until the very end, until the feedback. So it's really an added value for the entrepreneurs that embark in this journey.
Definitely.
But yeah, the match can be chosen by the entrepreneurs directly, or usually they do a trial. And I mean, we are speaking, this is a program for people. So the match sometimes works and sometimes not. So it's very important that the intermediate organization check everything when setting up this match. And maybe they can have a contact before they can agree on something. They have to, of course, fill in many administrative procedures, as you can imagine. And on this, they have also to fill in an action plan that they will work on during their exchange.
Okay, that's good. So it is a structured exchange. There are key milestones that need to be met. That's good to track the progress and to check in with both sides of the party to see if they're getting what they want from the program. So as a condition of the program, I imagine, seeing as it is an Erasmus, very similar to Erasmus exchanges that one might do in university, entrepreneurs will connect across different countries. I think this is probably a great opportunity for them not only to learn more about their business, but to learn more about different cultures. What do you think these kind of intercultural perspectives can bring to an entrepreneur's business? Why do you think it's so important that they have a mentorship, not only from someone with more experience, but from someone from a different background?
Well, mobility exchanges are crucial for building an entrepreneurial path and developing entrepreneurial skills. It's well known that such exchanges enhance communication skill, intercultural understanding, adaptability, flexibility, creativity, resilience. But also they promote learning through experience, the ability to cope with the uncertainty, taking initiative, planning, self-awareness, spotting opportunities. I can continue, but this that I mentioned are all key competencies that are outlined in the Entrecom framework, the entrepreneurship competence framework, which was developed by the European Commission and describes what is meant by entrepreneurship as a key competence for lifelong learning. Mm-hmm. So I think that this intercultural and intergenerational dialogue foster a sense of being an European, discovering new culture, but also it's crucial for thriving in today's diverse and interconnected global economy. And that's why I think the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program is invaluable. It helps entrepreneurs understand and navigate different cultural contexts, provides access to markets, exposes young entrepreneurs to new businesses practices, for example, that can they reapply in their own country, the regulatory environments, the market conditions. So this learning experience broadens their knowledge base and helps them develop versatile business strategies. Moreover, the program facilitates learning from experienced entrepreneurs who bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise. So this mentorship helps entrepreneurs avoid common pitfalls and accelerates their business development.
Yeah, I can see how that would be of a huge benefit for a young entrepreneur. I mean, the European Union was founded in principle on trading between the countries for more open markets, for less regulation. Yet I know that entrepreneurs often struggle to deal with the regulations that the single market require, because I feel like people might have this belief that there's open and free trade in Europe, but there's actually a lot of administration to do, a lot of red tape, a lot of registering companies and cross-border trade regulations that maybe a smaller, younger, or should I say newer entrepreneur wouldn't have the experience of. So it's great that programs like this can maybe expose them to people who have encountered these pitfalls before and have learned from them and apply all of this to their business. Do you think that the mentors get anything from the scheme? I mean, they must find it quite fulfilling if they are so eager to take on new mentees after they have their experience. I think it was 83% of mentors were open to having a mentee again?
Yes, exactly. But there are different benefits for the host as well. I don't know. For example, I have in mind the story of Rima, an Armenian host entrepreneur that developed a new product and won a competition in Paris together with the new entrepreneur. Oh, wow. So sometimes they can, also the host can get fresh ideas or can get access to new markets, new partnership. Some of them stay in contact and build co-venturing activities, for example. So it's not, the benefits are really for both. And yes, I totally agree with you that being an entrepreneur is generally super challenging, and starting a business requires a lot of expertise in multiple areas and the ability to navigate complex business environments. So, although entrepreneurship is recognized by the European Commission as one of the 8 key competencies that are necessary for all members of a knowledge-based society, it's not always included in main educational curricula. That's why this this can be a challenge, and usually an entrepreneur is alone. And we all know the context of Europe, where we have all these macro enterprises, and Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs really helps entrepreneurs build competences, solve doubts, and exchange ideas and opinion with experienced entrepreneurs who had faced similar uncertainties much.
And I feel like having an entrepreneurial mindset is probably something that can be applied outside of entrepreneurship, no?
Yeah, of course. Basically, participants can go abroad to discover new countries and markets, but also develop and test their entrepreneurial competences, expand their networks, explore the country and the culture.
Have a good time as well.
Have a good time, yeah, why not? And let's remember that all of this is with the financial support of the European Commission that ensure accessibility for
and I don't think we've touched upon that, but that's a very important part. The Commission is funding the entrepreneurs get a stipend, I imagine, to support their cross-border.
Let's say that the entrepreneur, like the new entrepreneur that is going abroad, receive a support that supposed to cover their travel and subsistence expenses.
Okay, and I think that's really, really important to increase the inclusivity of entrepreneurship. As we know, entrepreneurship is mainly a field with a lot of men. I know from the latest Missing Entrepreneurs report from the OECD and the European Commission that around 7.5 million entrepreneurs are missing from Europe. That's mainly women, young entrepreneurs, people from cross-cultural backgrounds, people with disabilities. And this group often faces a lot of challenges getting into entrepreneurship because maybe they don't have the connections, they don't have the money. How important is a scheme like this for getting more diversity into our entrepreneurship, which is good for fresh ideas, fresh perspectives, all of that?
Well, it's an help, no? It's a support also for people with additional, well, let's say entrepreneurs with additional support needs or entrepreneurs with disabilities. The program is ensuring a maximum contribution, financial contribution for them to ensure that they can get, they can really travel abroad. And also we saw an increase of women, participation of women in the program. So we really expect this number to grow in the next few years.
No, that's really great. It sounds like these young entrepreneurs really are being set up to succeed and to get great benefits from this program. Do you have any other examples of some success stories from the program? We already heard about Rima, but I imagine there must be so many.
Yeah, I can. Yesterday I read about Cornelia from Austria that started her entrepreneurial journey with the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program in 2011 in Germany. And since then, she has equipped 1,300 company roofs with solar systems, was voted Austrian of the Year in the field of climate in 2020, and won the Trigo Sustainability Award in 2023. But the stories are really different. Like I can have now in mind Laurent from Belgium. She was lost after her studies. She didn't know what to do, so she just take the opportunity to go abroad with the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program, and this really changed her life, and she started her own business. Things that she never thought about this. She never thought herself like an entrepreneur. Or Natalia, for example, who, thanks to the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program, had the opportunity to set up her own beauty salon in Lithuania, away from air raid, sirens, and explosion in Ukraine.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so the program is really flexible, allow fragmented stays. So it's also take into consideration the entrepreneur's need, and the local contact points, again, add a significant value by supporting entrepreneurs through this journey because they are really followed.
So they have the support during their stay, definitely then. So, and probably the support needed for the local context because, like you said, Europe is a very big place, and I'm sure it's really nice to have on-the-ground support rather than it all being managed from Brussels. I can imagine that would be a bit difficult for the thousands of entrepreneurs that must have taken part in this scheme. That's a lot of people for one person to manage, I'd imagine. So maybe just a final question now that we know so much about this scheme. a lot of economists have been saying that Europe is struggling a little bit on the global stage in terms of competitiveness. How important do you think it is to foster entrepreneurial mindsets within European citizens to support the business that is the most numerous in Europe? I heard that maybe 99% of businesses in Europe are small to medium enterprises. Do you think this will play a key role in managing the green and digital transitions and coming up with green solutions? I suppose if the example of the, was it Laura and her solar panels is a great example. But if just for zooming out, how important do you think schemes like this are for the European economy, for European integration?
Well, of course, working closely with the entrepreneurial competences development, I think that in general, like starting from a really early age, developing entrepreneurial competences would be super valuable for Europeans. And this can be applicable for not only for who wants to become entrepreneur, but in every sector. I mean, there are a lot of publications about civil servants being entrepreneurial, for example. I think that fostering entrepreneurial competencies can really give power to people to go farther and search for innovative and creative solutions, especially in this moment of digital transition. So programs like Erasmus for young entrepreneurs like really expose you to curiosity, expose you to novelty, to different inputs. And I think that in a globalized world, this is super important.
Now I'm starting to think maybe I want to do an Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs scheme. Maybe I can take a leave of absence from my work.
Yes. So my message would be that if you are an entrepreneur looking to take your business to the next level, or an experienced entrepreneur interested in mentoring the new generation, go to the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs website. There are a lot of information you can find on the website and social media, and apply, get involved. Entrepreneurship is a journey filled with challenges and opportunities. So programs like Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs provide the support and resources needed to navigate this journey successfully. So take the leap, embrace new experiences, and build the future you envision.
No, that is a great call to action. I'm sure your numbers will skyrocket after this podcast is released. But thank you, Greta, so much for coming in to talk to us. It was a really great conversation.
Thank you so much.
This podcast episode was brought to you by The New European, an online community dedicated to conversations on participation and inclusive entrepreneurship. You can find us at theneweuropean.eu and The New European on LinkedIn and Twitter. Subscribe to the Open Doors podcast wherever you get your podcasts.